The ground shudders. It is a feeling that comes not through the ears, but up through the soles of the feet, a deep, resonant tremor that speaks of impossible weight in motion. For the Horn-Stalker Clan, this is the drumbeat of life. They are spread thin, ghosts of ochre and hide against the dry savanna grass, moving with a predator's patience. Before them, in a shallow riverbed, stands their god. The Triceratops bull is immense, a walking mountain of pebbled grey hide and muscle, his great bony filler shield crowned with 3 lethal horns. To the clan, he is not merely prey, he is a sacred vessel of the world's strength, and to take him is to take that strength into themselves. Bor is young. The sinews in his arms are tight with power and anticipation. In his hand, he holds not just a spear, but a length of carved wood with a spur at the end. The throwing stick, the atlet, adds a whip crack of power to a hunter's arm, turning a man into something more. He and the other throwers are hidden in the tall reeds, downwind, their hearts beating in time with the earth's vibration. The first part of the plan belongs to the runners, the clan's youngest and fastest, who now break cover with shrill cries, waving hides to spook the great bull. They are a swarm of gnats daring a god to anger. The god accepts. With a bellow that rips the air, the Triceratops charges not with fear, but with territorial fury. He is magnificent. His head, a battering ram of solid bone, lowers as he thunders forward. The runners scatter, their part of this deadly dance complete. They have guided the bull's rage, funneling him toward the narrow gully where Bor and the killers wait. This is the core of their survival skills, the intelligence of early humans pitched against primal power. But the dance is always costly. One of the young runners is too slow. A horn sweeps low, and the boy is tossed into the air, a broken puppet against the sky. No one cries out. There is no time for grief, only for the kill. As the bull storms into the gully, the trap is sprung. From the ridge above, the clan's elders roll massive boulders not to kill, but to block the exit and sow confusion. The beast bellows again, this time with frustration, turning, searching for a foe. Now, Bor rises with the others. The atletes sing. Spears fly, not wild, but aimed with a lifetime of practice at the vulnerable flesh behind the armored frilind, the softer hide of the underbelly. It sinks deep into the thick neck muscle, a mortal wound that will not kill quickly, but will bleed the god's strength onto the thirsty earth. He sees it strike, feels a fierce, holy pride. They are the Horn-Stalkers. This is who they are. This is the brutal, sacred heart of all prehistoric life. The ground is silent now. Decades have passed, each one etching a deeper line into Bor's face and stealing a fraction of the world's warmth. He is an old man, his back a permanent curve of watchfulness. The atlet in his hand feeling less like a tool of power and more like a heavy memory. The savannah of his youth, once steaming with the thunder of the horned gods, has become a sparse, quiet plain of whispering grass and bones. The great herds are gone. Not defeated, not driven off. Like a story told too many times, their echoes growing fainter with every passing season. Extinction is not a roar. It is a gradual, terrifying silence. The Horn-Stalker Clan is a shadow of its former self, gaunt and perpetually hungry. Their entire culture, the very meaning of their name, was built on the rock of the Triceratops. Their sacred sites are marked with the great 3 horn skulls. Their tools are shaped from the massive bones, and their courage was measured against the fury of the horn's charge. The entire arc of their hominid history is tied to these beasts. Now, with their gods gone, they are adrift in a world that no longer makes sense. They hunt smaller, faster game, but it is not enough. The soul of the clan is starving as much as its body. The silence of the great beasts has allowed a new sound to rise, a high-pitched, chittering call that slides between the rocks and cuts through the wind. A sound that means death from the grass. The world has grown quiet, and in that quiet, new things have learned to scream. A pack of Velociraptors, fast as striking snakes and terrifyingly intelligent, has claimed these plains. They are not gods of thunder. They are demons of speed and cunning, their sickle claws flashing in the sun. The clan no longer walks with the confident stride of the apex predator. They move in a tight, fearful huddle, spears facing outward, the children in the center. The old tactics, the bravery of the charge, are useless against an enemy that can flank, feint, then communicate with unnerving precision. A scout returns not with the news of a herd, but a single set of tracks, old, heavy, and unmistakable. A lone Triceratops bull, ancient and solitary, wanders these empty lands. A desperate, foolish hope ignites in the clan. A desperate, foolish hope ignites in the clan, one last chance to be who they were. Bioa knows it is madness. They are too weak to few. But he sees the look in his people's eyes and knows they have to try. He agrees, and as they set out, following the fading tracks, he feels a cold dreading tracks. He feels a cold dread. He sees the raptors shadowing them, flitting figures at the edge of his vision. They are not attacking. They are watching, waiting. Bioa understands with a sudden, sickening clarity. The raptors are not afraid of the old bull. They are using him. The hunters have become the bait. They find him in a grove of dying cycads, the last Triceratops. He is a ruin, a monument to a forgotten age. One horn is broken, and his great frill is scarred and chipped. He moves with a painful slowness, his breath a ragged gust of wind. In his youth, Bioa would have seen a magnificent challenge. Now, he sees only an echo, a creature as lost and out of time as his own people. The sight should bring the thrill of the hunt, but it brings only a profound, aching sadness. Falling into the ancient rhythms of the stock, but their movements are hesitant, their hearts no longer certain of their purpose. They are hunting a memory. Before the first spear can be thrown, the world dissolves into chaos. The raptors strike. They explode from the tall grass, a blur strut fury and flashing claws. They are not attacking the Triceratops. They are attacking the clan. It is a perfectly coordinated ambush. The chittering calls are a language of murder, directing the pack, isolating the hunters, turning their sacred ritual into a slaughterhouse. One hunter goes down, his screams cut short, a sickle claw buried in his thigh. The air fills with the smell of blood and panic. This is the new law of this prehistoric world, intelligence against intelligence, and the raptors are faster, more numerous, the hunger honed to a razor's edge. Bioa stands frozen between two impossible worlds. Before him, the ancient god of his people stands confused, a relic caught in a nightmare. Around him, his clan, his family, the last of the Horn-Stalkers, are being torn apart by the sleek, vicious predators of the new age. He can still give the signal. The remaining hunters could charge the Triceratops, try to land a killing blow, and fulfill the purpose that has defined them for generations. It would be a glorious end, a final, defiant war of the Homo sapiens spirit against the dying of the light, their story ending with the last of their gods. It would also be their annihilation. The choice is made in a heartbeat. It is a choice that breaks 100 generations of tradition, a choice that kills the Horn-Stalker to save the man. Bioa raises his atlet, but he does not aim it at the horned beast. He lets out a sharp cry, not of the hunt, but of retreat. Back to the cliffs he screams, shoving a young hunter toward the safety of the rocks. He and the few remaining warriors from a desperate real grog, their spears not for the glory of the kill but for the simple, brutal act of survival. They leave their fallen. They leave their god. As they scramble up the rock face, Bioa looks back one last time. The raptors, having scattered the hunters, now turn their attention to the lone, ancient Triceratops, who finally, belatedly, lowers his head to charge his true executioners. Bioa turns away, his heart a hollow stone in his chest. He has saved his people, but he has lost their world. The saga of the Horn-Stalker Clan did not end with a triumphant tour, but with a silent, agonizing pivot. They turned their backs on the gods who had defined them, not out of cowardice, but out of a terrifyingly clear-eyed love for their own children. This is the unsung tragedy at the heart of human evolution. For every brilliant invention, for every new tool, there was a world that had to be abandoned, a set of sacred beliefs that became shackles. Our ancestors were not just hunters and gatherers. They were mourners for worlds that vanished before their eyes. They survived not by clinging to the past, but by having the unimaginable courage to let it go, to walk away from the bones of their gods and into the terrifying uncertainty of a future they had to invent for themselves. We carry that sacrifice in our very DNA, the ghost of every choice that allowed one generation to give birth to the next. Our survival was never guaranteed, it was bought, time and again, with the coin of heartbreak. To endure is to learn which gods you must be willing to kill. But even in a world of stone, hunger learns to carve new teeth.